Hi. In this short piece, we hope to familiarize you with some of the aspects of real demolition derby and to fill you in on the rules. And with me today is car builder, driver, and official Frank Derby Dog Waller.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
So Frank, what's more dangerous, being a demolition derby driver or official?
Neither is really dangerous as long as you keep your wits about you. It's when you stop being careful that bad things happen. Neither my wife or I has ever been seriously injured in all the years we've been involved in demolition derby.
That's right. Your wife is also a demolition derby driver. Does she drive in the powder puffs?
No, there are powder puff demolition derbies that only allow women drivers, but she likes to mix it up with the men. Actually, she's done quite well. She was the Michigan Female Driver of the Year 3 years in a row.
That's great. Now let's start with things you have to do to prepare your car for demolition derby. I noticed you have to take all the glass out of the car and move the gas tank and battery before you can get started. Can you explain why that's done?
Well, if you left the battery in the stock position, on the first hit you'd have battery acid all over. You also wouldn't be able to restart your car after the first hit. That's why we put it inside the car where it's safer.
Well, safer for the battery, not the driver anyway.
If you mount the battery far enough away from the passenger side door, you should be okay. But you're right, there is a chance the driver could be wearing acid.
And what about the gas tank?
The stock gas tank is removed and a smaller one is installed inside the car, usually where the back seat was. These tanks hold about 6 gallons of gas, and there's a protective case built around them to keep them from spilling.
So the driver is sitting next to a box of acid, a box of gas, riding around, crashing into people, and this is safe?
That's where the official's pre-race inspection comes in. Their job is twofold. Firstly, to make sure the cars are not unfairly reinforced, and secondly, to make sure the drivers are safe. After all, demolition derby is a sport, and we don't want anyone to get hurt.
Okay, you've convinced me. Now, one thing I've always thought was cool about demolition derby cars were the exhaust pipes coming from the hood. Can you explain about that? Is that just for show?
The exhaust pipes are taken out from underneath the car so they can't catch on anything. This also reduces your engine temperature because the exhaust doesn't run underneath your oil pan. It buys you a little bit of time after your radiator's blown before your car overheats.
Okay. Now I want to get started. I go find a local event, and can I just put my parents' 85 Honda in?
Well, the best cars are 76 and older American cars. The cars that are newer than that are just a little bit soft. I'm not saying you can't win with one, I'm just saying you'd be at a serious disadvantage.
And what about compact cars?
They do have compact car demolition derbies, and the fans always go wild at these shows, but the compact cars really wouldn't stand a chance against the full-size cars.
Well, do they have demolition derby races, or, smashing and racing?
Some places have figure-8 races where there's a lot of hitting because the cars cross in the middle of the track, and it is an acceptable tactic to hit your opponents to slow them down. Although the goal of the race is to see who can finish 20 laps first. You don't get any style points for hitting people.
So, here are the rules of demolition derby. The winner of a derby is the last guy moving. If you stop moving, after 20 seconds, you will be put on the clock. The clock counts down to 0. If you have not hit somebody, or somebody has not hit you before the clock hits 0, you are black flagged. Once you are black flagged, you are out. You can also be put on the clock for sandbagging. This means you have not hit anybody and nobody has hit you for 40 seconds. The only way to get off the clock now is to hit somebody or have somebody hit you.
Don't forget the 3 strikes and you're out rule.
The third time you put on the clock, you're black flagged. This isn't to encourage hitting.
That all changes if you're one of the last 2 cars left in the feature.
If you're one of the last 2 cars in the feature, you can get off the clock by just moving your car. In addition, the 3 strikes and you're out rule is suspended. Is the feature like the finals?
Yeah, you start off the event in a heat. And if you're one of the last 2 cars running, you advance to the feature. The feature's made up of the top 2 cars from all the heats.
And if I win an event?
If you win 3 local events, you get invited to regionals.
And if I win 3 regionals?
If you win 3 regionals, you get invited to nationals.
And if I win 3 nationals?
I think you'll have to wait until you get there to find out about that one.
Oh, that's pretty harsh, dude. Okay, I understand if my car gets too beat up, I'm out. Now, are there any variations on that rule, or what if my car stalls?
You can start it back up. If your car's not too beat up, it will start. If it doesn't start the first time, just try again.
And what if my car gets hung up?
If you can't move, they'll put you on the clock. If the clock expires, you're done.
And what about my radiator?
When your radiator gets hit, your engine will pour out steam. Once it stops steaming, your engine will heat up awfully fast. When your temperature gauge tops out, your motor will seize, and then you're toast.
Hey, did you know that I'm one of the characters in the game? Michael the Jackal? You know, I'm the toughest character in the game?
I don't know about that. They told me the Derby dog was the toughest driver in this game.
Well, there are a ton of pretty tough drivers in the game based on actual Derby drivers.
Well, they told me the Derby dog was the toughest.
Well, we're done here. Now people can go try out the game. Now for me, Mike, the Jackal Reed, and Frank, Derby Dog Waller,
The toughest driver in this game.
enjoy the game.